And in our continuing coverage of the state of the Constitution this week, today our senior political affairs reporter focuses on the constitutional commissions that were formed through the new constitution. Have the commissioners delivered in their mandate? What are some of the challenges they have been facing? And do Kenyans really know about these commissions? And should they be retained or abolished? As Kenyans ushered in a new constitutional dispensation in August 2010, of course, there was better hope for governance. But let's take a look at that story.
As Kenyans ushered in a new constitutional dispensation in August 2010, there was much hope for better governance structures moving forward. And this came with the formation of a total of 10 constitutional commissions, tasked with providing a link between the citizens and the state. A much-needed link given decades of a massively centralized government. The commissions have been in existence for 6 years now, and Kenyans seem to have lost confidence and hope with the independent bodies.
There's no commission that is working, and we don't hope that there is any commission will work.
I feel they are not delivering on their mandate and they should be disbanded. Because even if you look at TSC, which is another commission for teachers, every other year, every other time we have teachers on the street, teachers are striking.
These are commissions that should have men and women of utmost integrity. Unfortunately, they have failed the test. If I was the DPP, there is an offense of perjury in the offing.
One of the commissions that has been facing a myriad of challenges is the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. Despite being handled by two sets of commissioners to date, the Electoral Commission has been bedeviled by similar problems since the last two elections. Integrity questions were raised over the Isaka San-led commission, as well as against the current body headed by Wafula Chebukati. Chebukati's commission being characterized by infighting, lack of trust, and allegation of procurement anomalies.
If you look at ESCC, for example, if you look at IEBC, those who served in those positions, including commissioners, we agree that they did not do the right thing. But what were the consequences? None. Instead, in some of them, those who were being removed from office were paid huge amounts of money, in millions, in order to vacate those offices.
And if one fails the integrity test, there's no other option than to make sure that that person who has failed that integrity test is dealt with expeditiously, because the other mistake that also has happened is that where the integrity questions, it takes too long to resolve those issues.
So what then should be done to bring back public trust in the commissions, or have they been outlived by their usefulness?
Probably we do not need to really abolish these institutions. We need them to be occupied by men of great integrity, men who are willing to serve Kenyans, who, though appointed through a political process, when you get to that office and you know you are protected constitutionally, then you deliver for the Kenyans.
We need these independent bodies because they execute functions which, if they were not there, would go back to the office of the presidency. We would go back to where Kenyans were complaining of an imperial presidency. And so the question is, do Kenyans want to go back to an imperial presidency or not? The answer must be not. So we still need these institutions.
Former chairman of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, Macharia Njeru, worked very closely with the National Police Service Commission under the chairmanship of Johnston Kavuludi. He says that not all commissioners are rotten.
Where these mistakes or issues of integrity that arise in respect to specific commissioners, then the best thing to do is to deal specifically with the individuals.
The 6-year tenure of most of the commissioners will come to an end this year. The process of recruiting new commissioners has now been put under the microscope, with queries being raised on whether those who will be appointed and approved by Parliament will remain independent.
Because of some level of political involvement, you find that the people who get appointed and fail to appreciate that their need to deliver to Kenyans are not to please the political systems that put them in place. That has been one of the problems.
While we need these commissions to continue functioning, we must ask ourselves, how do we vet people who fit into these offices? Is it something that Parliament should go back to and ask for more information about the integrity of people who seek to serve in these public offices?
With the clamor for constitutional changes before the 2022 elections fast gathering pace, Kenyans will still have the final say as to whether the constitutional commissions should be abolished or not through a referendum, given that Chapter 15 of the Constitution is a protected chapter. Chris Dairu, KTN News.